Royal news now. Prince Harry's UK visit's making all the headlines this morning. Lots of front pages too, with him and Prince William. They didn't meet up, and they were only a few miles apart yesterday. Well, journalists Celia, Walden and Bryony are here. This happens all the time when he comes over here, doesn't it? When Harry comes over here, everybody goes, right, well, he's only 3.5 miles away from this one and that one and that one, but they're not meeting up.
It's tantalising. It was 7 miles apart.
Was it indeed?
You need to know.
Right.
And obviously everyone's got into a big state about how close this is and how tantalising, and they could have seen each other. But I think that ship has sailed.
I think
from
so,
what,
probably.
I hope, however, that he will manage to see his father while he's here, who he hasn't seen in 19 months.
Is he up in Scotland?
He's up at Balmoral.
Ah, right. But it's not far.
It's not. And apparently Harry is here, I think, until the end of the week. You probably know, but he's, you know...
Right.
Yeah, he's staying on my sofa.
Is he?
No, he's not really.
I
don't know. He's definitely not staying on my sofa, just so you know.
I know. But do you know what was really good? And what we saw yesterday was Prince Harry. Nobody was talking to all the kids at the awards, and he was doing sort of balloons, sword fights and all the rest of it. That is where he really shines. Yeah. You know, he has got that great affinity with kids, the way his mum had. And it just reminds you.
I love seeing him back in the UK doing royal engagements with the charities he loves, because it is when he's in his element.
And he loves WellChild. WellChild is, you know, one of the things very close to his heart, isn't it?
And I think it is a reminder of that sort of what we've lost with him moving to America. Yeah, I think it's. I love it when he's back in the UK. Yeah, because he stays on my sofa.
Well, of course.
And he makes a really good cup of tea.
Of course. Yeah, and he washes up and everything, and he tidies up after himself. So he's all good. You know what? All families fall out. I mean, look, you know, the Windsors have famously, the Beckhams have famously, and, you know, everybody, I think, in their family has had somebody they've fallen out with at one point.
If my family were the royal family, the tabloids would have an absolute field day.
I think,
you know, like I think I live like 7 miles from my mum, and I haven't seen her in months and months. And I love her, but you know the things that they could report on. Families are all mad. There's a poem I shall not repeat because it includes a swear word, but you know, it's just I feel sorry for them all, because they're whether they like it or not, their private lives are public.
Yeah, and more so than ever before because of the internet and all the rest.
Well, and that's why part of me hopes, and I know as a journalist I shouldn't say this, part of me hopes that he sees his father and that we never ever or that we don't hear about it for a very long time. Sure. Because that would show that everything was going.
But in this day and age, that's never going to happen, is it? There's always going to be somebody taking a photograph or somebody telling people.
And I think in Harry's case there has been this concern that he is the one who is immediately making things public, which is why you know, the
lack of trust. Yeah, I understand that.
Which you know you can see would be a problem.
I don't think he's doing that, and I think also there's always that. I mean, all the royals have always had people around them, haven't they? So there's a sort of hypocrisy there, I think, if you think that if people think that he's doing that, and you know,
the worry is, I guess, from his. We are told by people around them that we don't really know, that Charles and William are worried about talking to him because they don't know whether that's going to end up in a Netflix documentary.
But doesn't that?
But do you think that was a long time ago? You don't think that would happen now?
I mean, I just think it speaks, doesn't it, to the weird world we live in, where you know you can't. If you were in that position, you just can't trust anyone. I think it says more about that than it does about whether one of them is going to go. Talking to the press or making a documentary about it.
But he did do the documentary and he did write the book, so those wounds will take a wee while to heal, but they might heal. I still really believe I read that book and I watched the documentary, and I think anyone who read that book and thought anything other than God, he wrote about basically being in a psychosis as a child after his mum died, and believing that she was going to come back for like 10 years, you know, like that is the most unbelievably weird, traumatic situation, and people deal with things differently. But I still think that anyone who read that book and thought anything other than, oh my God, those poor kids,
Anyway.
I hear
I've
you.
said enough.
We're kind of talking, it sort of goes on to parenting in a way, because we've been running a poll this morning, a totally different subject, asking if you would read your children's texts. Now, as I was saying to you, you know, when Rosie was tiny, it would be a diary, not a text, but 73% of you said you would. Right, OK, on the spot, would you do that?
I would, and I have. And
have you?
Yeah, yeah.
See, I wouldn't.
And I wouldn't be. Wouldn't be apologetic about that, actually. Most of all, it seems to be, it's ridiculous things between my daughter and her brothers which make me laugh. I'm far more concerned about her reading my text, which she does all the time.
Does she?
Yes, because I've got a brick phone, and she's got a brick phone, and I've got obviously an adult phone. Because I'm old enough. But I just keep finding her on my phone trying to access various things she can't on hers. And then you start getting worried in case she says, you know, Mum, what were those messages and who's that man you've been sending photos to? And you're like, listen, it's just another name I have for your father.
Yes. Yes, we'll draw a veil over that. I'm hearing you quite loud and clear. I don't know if I would, unless I was worried maybe about your kid being bullied, or, you know, you were worried about them.
I do it all the time.
Do you?
That was my daughter's 12. I think we have daughters of the same age.
Yes, of course.
That was my agreement, is if you're getting a phone and access to this whole world. I mean, she hasn't got social media or anything like that.
Okay.
But it is giving them the keys to the kingdom, essentially. And I'm like, and you're still 12. And you can have your own phone and privacy when you pay for your own phone.
Yeah.
And you're old enough to do so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see, it's a little bit like reading their diaries, and I don't know.
What I think is really interesting is the WhatsApp thing, which seems to be the best advice I was ever given is keep them off WhatsApp as long as possible.
Right.
Because it's got some sort of apparently unique capacity to build in the groups do, in a way that plain text messages don't. So even if you're just not letting them do that, apparently it's incredibly beneficial when they're young.
Right. Okay.
And actually that does make sense when you look at, I mean, even with adults, when you're communicating on WhatsApp, it can quite quickly, you might mistake the tone or misunderstand a joke.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Let's do something very controversial and talk to each other face to face. Bryony, I have to salute you. You ran the Great North Run this weekend.
I did.
But you have the medal.
I do have the medal.
Show the medal about your person.
It's not that I just tragically bring it everywhere.
There's a mistake on this medal, isn't there?
Yes, well, it says it's a map of Newcastle, Gateshead and South Shields, which is the route of the Great North Run.
Yes.
But apparently it's actually Sunderland. And obviously in the North East, there's big rivalry. You should not make that mistake.
Never. Yeah. That's like putting a map of Glasgow in Edinburgh or vice versa.
Exactly.
No.
I think me and the other 60,000 people who ran it are just really chuffed that we have this medal.
Yeah. Exactly. And well done you for doing that. What an amazing achievement. You are some women. You're some women, honestly. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you both so much. And let me know if you... I feel as if I'm very on my own here, that I wouldn't read text. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hi there. Thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. We upload new videos every single day. So click here if you're interested in this video, or head to the homepage for more amazing content.